This is TWIS, This Week in Science, episode number 547, recorded on Wednesday, December 30th, 2015. It's the 2016 Predictions Show. Hey everyone, I am Dr. Kiki, and tonight on This Week in Science, we are going to fill your heads with predictions from last year, predictions for this year, and maybe a little bit of science news. But first...
Disclaimer, disclaimer, disclaimer. The following hour programming cannot be trusted, for the content within is of a dubious and potentially subversive nature. The hosts have set down their normal baton of bringing you science news and are attempting to do a job normally held by pollsters, psychics, horoscope writers, by sports gamblers, by stock market gamblers, by weathermen and weatherwomen alike. Yes, This Week in Science will not look into our brilliant past, but to the shrouded future of the year to come. And this is where the dubious nature of the program comes in, for at no time in history have predictions of the future been useful, or nearly as useful to a society, as the addition of actual new knowledge. So it bears repeating, disclaimer, 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 This Week in Science Future Prediction Show, coming up next.
I've got the kind of mind I can't get enough. I want to learn everything. I want to fill it all up with new discoveries that happen every day of the week. There's only one place to go to find the knowledge I seek. I want to know what's happening. What's happening? What's happening this week in science? What's happening? What's happening? What's happening this week in science?
Good science to you, Kiki and Blair.
And good science to you, Justin, Blair, and everyone out there. Welcome to another episode of TWIS, This Week in Science. We might actually bring some science to you this week. This is our annual prediction show. We like to have a fun show at the end of the year where we prognosticate, make things up, make guesses at what the world's going to be like in the year to come. Sometimes the guesses are informed. Other times they're just fun because why not? Why not, right? Anyway, we have a great show ahead for all of you, and I've got a tiny bit of science news in the second half of the show, but really this is all predictions for 2016. So we're going to find out how we did last year, and then we're going to tell you what we think is going to happen in 2016, and that's pretty much it. Justin, did you have anything exciting to add for that?
No, although I've pulled up a list here from the interwebs of really bad predictions in the past we can go to and we can intersperse the regular show with. As a for instance, Margaret Thatcher, 1969, predicted that there would never be a female prime minister in her lifetime.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's pretty bad prediction.
Yeah.
Self-fulfilling bad prediction? Is that a possibility? Can you have one of those?
That's pretty funny. I had never heard that before. That's awesome. Blair, did you have any stories for us for the second half? Or?
I do. I have a couple. I just have something about tardigrades. Always interesting stuff about tardigrades.
Yeah,
and then I have some more crow news that is actually directly related to my predictions from last year.
Ah, this is exciting.
Oh, yeah. This is the last minute to get in any self-fulfilling prophecy story.
Oh, the crows needed no help. This is just piling on, but we'll get there.
Oh my goodness. Pile it on. PhD. Pile it higher and deeper. Let's get on with it. Okay, my predictions from last year for 2015. Let's see how I did. I predicted that new technologies like VR interfaces would hit the market and we'd see pilots with their heads in the drones. Now we see the first crowd-funded this year, 2015, the first drone with virtual reality goggles was crowdfunded at well over the amount that they were trying to raise. The flyby drone, first ever drone with virtual reality goggles. So I don't know if it counts that it was a an Indiegogo crowdfunding, or there are actually other aspects of these kind of in the market now. So, do I get this one?
I think it's definitely a it's a gray area. It's one of those gray areas because it happened, but it's not really being.
It's not there yet. I think you might be able to put this one as a not as a miss, but if you put it in, if you don't take it as a 2016 prediction, I will.
Yeah, I think that we have our yeses, we have our nos, and we have our almost but not quite. And I have quite a few of those too.
And this is not a game of horseshoes, so close misses are kind of okay too. All right. Additionally, I said the FAA was going to continue to punt on making regulations for the UAVs, but they did not get. They made decisions. UAV drivers have to register with the government as of January 1st, right? It's like you need to go to the government and prove you know the regulations for flying your drone.
Yeah,
So,
and that's a good thing.
I missed that one big time. I thought the FAA was not going to do it, and they did.
There you go. And again, we should be happy that you missed that one.
Right. I don't know. Okay, moving on past drones, I said that Japan's Shaft robot was going to sweep the DARPA robotics competition in June. Well, because his name was Shaft. Well, he was bought by Google, and then he didn't really appear for the DARPA robotics challenge.
Got shafted.
Shaft got shafted. Yeah, I don't really know what happened to Shaft. He was bought by Google, and then he became part of a bigger project. Bigger, better.
Who are you talking about? Talking about Robot Shaft.
Robot Shaft. Shaft. Exactly. Anyway, the DARPA robotics competition was entertaining and educational, if only to let us know that we still have a long way to go before world robotic, at least bipedal domination occurs. So that made me happy. Restarting the Large Hadron Collider at 13 trillion electron volts would further confirm the Higgs particle and the Standard Model of Physics. And yes, it has. However, there have been some hints of possible new particles that were not predicted by the Standard Model, but they're still very low sigma, so we don't even know if those are burps in the data or what. There's still more data that needs to be collated and analyzed, and more protons need to be exploded. So I think I got that one. Yeah, I got that one. December's climate change conference in Paris will consist of a large number of politicians hand-waving and making no real progress. I think I missed. I think that's a no. I think they came to a fairly good agreement this year. I think a whole bunch of politicians did what they did not do at the Copenhagen climate conference, which is they came to an agreement, and it's actually more stringent than previous ideas. So I missed that one. Pretty big time. The New Horizons mission, I said, would successfully rendezvous with Pluto, finding it to be very cold, and then the Dawn mission, arriving at Ceres, would find the same thing.
Bold predictions.
Bold
Predictions. Pluto, cold. Who could have thunk?
No, that the mission, the big thing is that the missions actually did what they said they were going to do. They rendezvoused. It happened. And it was cold. I think I get a yes on that one.
Give me that one.
Yeah, Ebola would continue to rage in Africa and be ignored by most Americans. It did, and it was ignored after it became less of a problem that we were concerned about here on our own shores. However, there have been various very huge strides made in vaccines and also in treatments that have resulted in Ebola waning in Africa. So I got like a half on that.
No, I call that a miss. We sent the U.S. military down there to help out. I mean, how could we be ignoring it?
We went. By most Americans. Most Americans ignore
everything. That's it. That's if you're going to get that big.
Once again, I made a very bold prediction, right? Let's see, I said we will still have no evidence of gravitational waves, although studies will be ongoing. Ding, ding, ding! Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
Yeah, you
Studies
stole
are-
that one from me. That's my I get right every year one.
As Europe's ITER-tokamak facility begins construction, the U.S.-based National Ignition Facility will show progress on fusion experiments. No, fusion is just kind of gone. And in fact, ITER has been having funding issues and is off schedule and having all sorts of problems. So first light or plasma for the ITER facility isn't even going to happen in 2016 when they hoped it would. It's probably going to happen like 2020 or maybe even later. They're like thinking it might not happen for like another 6 years.
Thanks.
Blah! Fusion! What's wrong with you people and your big projects? Come on. Hydrogen cars will become more prominent in the market, being snatched up by Silicon Valley yuppies. Although petroleum vehicles will continue to dominate. Yeah, no, that didn't happen.
Tesla, though.
Tesla with electric cars, but I didn't say that. I said hydrogen. I was so wrong. So wrong. An email will be sent by thought alone from a brain via a mouse goldfish robot pathway.
Yeah.
If I'd left the goldfish out of it, I might have been more... I'm almost there, right?
That's kind of a stretch.
There were some pretty amazing brain-computer interfaces and actually stuff being sent from brain to brain this year. Some amazing like monkey-to-monkey connectivity and human-to-human brain stuff that was going on. There was some really interesting stuff happening. But yeah, no goldfish involved. I said SpaceX would successfully demonstrate reusable rockets and new Mars vehicles. I don't know if they've demonstrated a new Mars vehicle so much, but their reusable rockets, aside from a couple of letdowns this year, they've done really well. And their last big thing, just this last month, they did their successful re-landing of their rockets. So, thumbs up on that? Do I get that one?
I think so.
Can I have it?
Yeah.
Yes.
I want it.
I mean, no one is keeping score. Let's just...
I am. What are you talking
I
about?
know. What?
At the end of this, there are fabulous prizes.
Well, I guess I've never won, so...
Let's see. What else did I say? I said, there was a Japanese company, that Otsuka Pharmaceutical, that would use one of these SpaceX reusable rockets with American company Astrobotic Technology to solidify plans to put a can of Pocari Sweat on the moon and go on to win the Google Lunar X Prize. That didn't happen. I really wanted that to happen, but it didn't happen. So didn't happen. I thought Craig Venter would create the first completely synthetic living organism. That did not happen either, although he's really pushing forward on a lot of cutting-edge stuff, but this year was not his year. I said this year would mark the beginning of genetic printing on demand. That didn't happen this year either, although, again, Craig Venter's really pushing that one. I said solar impulse would become the first solar plane to circumnavigate the Earth. I didn't double check on that. Did that happen? Did they make it? Solar impulse 2? They did multiple legs. 8 world records. I don't know. Did I get that one? Long-range aircraft. Did it make it? It's attempting. In June, it was attempting to fly around the world.
Interesting to hear that if it did not make big news.
Right? Everyone's like, okay, that's great. Yeah, okay, so it didn't make big news. They may or may not have made it. I said that we would absolutely kill in New York City. We didn't kill anybody, but we had a great show last January. It was fantastic, and we made a video with Philip Shane out of Brooklyn. It was amazing. We also had an amazing 500th episode, which I knew that we would, and I said we would produce more shorts and long-form interviews and in-person meetups, and we did all those things. Maybe not as many as we wanted to, but there's always next year.
Yeah, and as long as we're moving upward.
As long as we're always moving upward, that's all good, right?
Yeah. Then you have farther to fall. Wait.
No, the upward, it just means better, not able to damage yourself more. Hold on. All right. This is This Week in Science. I'm done with my predictions. Justin, what'd you predict?
Oh, my last year prediction recap.
Yep.
Let's see. Number one, I had the Apple would create the iThink, which would be a mind phone interface, which I think Blair had established we would need some sort of skull cap for. So it was the iThinking cap or iThinking wig. I think wig. It got complicated, but it didn't show up. But there was a lot of like Kiki was referring to, a lot of computer mind interface experimentation going on.
Absolutely.
Yes, there were eye gadgets and there were caps, but there were no eye caps.
No Apple eye caps. Yes.
Yeah, I was looking for the LHC to give us our first glimpse of dark matter. I don't know that we got that. We didn't get that. Neutrino, Sirius talked about the neutrino being the theoretical tachyon particle, therefore being able to go backwards in time. No, Sirius talk took place this year. The Higgs, they would, it's not just the Higgs at the CERN, but they would also discover the Atheon this year, which is the counterpart to the God particle. UN would meet together. I predicted that they would be meeting in New York, which is problematic. I think what it was is I think that I was foreseeing the terrorist attacks in Paris and assuming they would move climate talks to New York. That didn't happen. But I said nothing would really come of it either. Like they wouldn't really do anything, and I'm not really convinced that they are doing anything at this point.
Yeah, time will tell. But the talk was impressive.
They had better talking and less hand waving this time around.
They can talk, hand wave, jump up and down, but if they do nothing, they have done nothing. This is my point. I think they have done nothing.
Only 2016 will tell.
This year I predicted they would finally discover the monkey cat. Monkey cat is part cat, part monkey. It's an elusive missing link in evolution, thought to be surviving somewhere in Kalimantan, Borneo. But again, the mythical cryptozoological creature has not been discovered.
And it may not now since Indonesia's burning. So, yeah.
Or maybe they'll come running out of the woods like, oh,
right,
monkey cats everywhere.
Monkey cat.
I predicted again, no evidence for a gravity wave, as I have predicted every year since the inception of the internet. However, I did predict that there would be good penguin recipes from Bicep 2 crew in Antarctica. And after Blair's story about penguins, I'm calling that one a hit. Because these penguins, if they're getting up to 100 degrees,
they're cooking themselves.
They're baking under all that.
No.
It's like self-cooking food.
Right.
I missed the football prediction as usual. And this year I predicted TWIS would become a coast-to-coast show. And I think we established that a couple of days into 2020.
And we went to New York.
Maintained it, which is the other half of that, right?
Yes.
Well, we still have to see. There's all kinds of airplanes people have to get on in time. Make it through customer. I don't know. It's possible. It could happen.
It could happen. It could.
But those are out of that list. I go back and I see my standby prediction that no gravity waves will be discovered as the only thing I've really gotten right. That and the UN not really doing anything about climate change.
I don't know. One year you got the football prediction right, so one of these years
I got it down
maybe,
to the final score and how it would happen.
That was a one-time occurrence. Maybe you spent all your prediction luck on that one.
All my football prediction skills are gone. Oh yeah, all my other skills. I got more detailed. A couple more. I got some wins this year though. My predictions this year are all wins.
Okay, so let's recap Blair's predictions from last year. What were your predictions?
Yeah, so I started by saying that it will be discovered that actually pandas play an integral role in food webs in bamboo forests, and I will officially apologize on the show dressed as a panda.
Are you dressed as a panda? Are you dressed as a panda? Where is your panda costume?
This did not prove true. The one thing that came close was that we found that panda habitats preserved to save pandas ended up saving other species. I don't find that an integral role in a food web.
Oh, wait, you mean the
they also
other
discovered.
species in that food web are not integral to? Wait a second. I think somebody needs to go buy a panda suit.
I think next week in New York City, you are wearing a panda suit in our live show.
I think this is gonna happen.
Well, I still think I did not make that one, but I welcome the tweets and emails. I also predicted that as permafrost melts, we'll discover a crazy, never-before-described family of animals. That did not happen. However, we did find a brand new type of fish underneath ice in Antarctica, so I got close. I also said we will cure koala chlamydia and koala populations will begin to bounce back. Nope, none of that. In one state, a group will try to pass a law forbidding not only evolution and climate change education in the classroom, but also statistics, as it promotes leftist propaganda. The Supreme Court will not agree. No, that didn't happen. Thank goodness. We will find another way.
They were trying, though, weren't they trying?
Oh,
there was something this year where there were really crazy things being put forward toward state legislatures. The
math was safe. Thank goodness.
Was safe, but good grief.
Next, I predicted that we will find another way crows are smart. We found several. We found that ravens, their close cousins, cooperate. We found that crows count in their brains the same way that we do. We found that they have social areas where they exchange information, like a crow water cooler. We also found that they store their tools for safekeeping. And there is more crow news coming up in the second half.
Woohoo!
So that one was a big yes. Next, I said curiosity will see mold on Mars, and then discover we brought it there. Whoops. Nope, that didn't happen. Also, thank goodness. We will read about yet another new theory on how pigeons navigate, nullifying the most recent, which is magnetic fields. Now, we did not nullify the magnetic fields, but we did find a new hypothesis of how that works by looking at worms.
Yes.
So that's an almost, but not quite. I said that scientists will shine more light on dark matter. That's certainly true. We talked about that a lot during the year. One of my favorites being that there's dark matter that we can measure using the same theories that we use to measure other kinds of matter in relation to the laws of gravity and things like that, and that some of it is right here with us. That was really awesome.
Yeah, that's very Nostradamus sort of a prediction.
Of course, I mean,
we will be shedding light on the dark. It will be a door opened, and if those who walk through will be on another side.
You will have some good days, and you will have some bad days. I also said a monkey will type some Shakespeare via brain-to-brain communication. I came close on that one.
Very close. They didn't type Shakespeare, but there was some pretty cool brain-to-brain communication there.
We had monkey to monkey, we had human to human, we had lots of stuff going on.
Yeah.
I also said that I will create some more artwork to send to TWIS contributors due to the fact that we will remain solidly over the 500 mark for the majority of the year.
Yay!
I'm really excited about that one.
And we did, thanks to all of our Patreon sponsors. Yay!
Yeah. And the last one was I will successfully go to famous person, hopefully Bill Nye, to reply to a shouty tweet.
Did you?
No. But I do have some people with those little blue check marks now following me on Twitter, so that's pretty cool.
Congratulations, verified individuals.
What? Yeah, so that didn't happen. That's something I can work on for next year for sure. More shouty tweets. I prefer for you to call it just goading. Just call it what it is. Just more goading. All right. I will do some more poking of famous science figures.
Proverbially.
Yes. Not literal poking.
Yes. Thank you. Oh, my goodness. If you just tuned in, you are listening to This Week in Science, and we are doing our yearly prediction show. We just recapped our predictions from 2015. Well, we got some. We didn't get a lot of them, but that's usually what happens. It's just fun to predict what's going to happen and then kind of go back.
Mine this year. You're
going to get all of them? Okay.
All of them.
Okay, so let's go into our predictions for 2016.
We don't want to. We're at the break right now. Do you want to do the break thing and then come back with our predictions? Because we're at the halfway point times wise.
No, let's do this. Do you
Oh,
want
okay.
to? Really?
Yeah, we got to do a break, don't we? We always do a break in the middle. We got the break thing, and
We
then
can
we
do
come
a
back.
break. We can do a break right now. That'll be
And then we
easy.
do a second half of a show. Because otherwise, if we're not, are we just doing one half of a show that's really long? I don't. It's fine too.
I
Thank
think
you for
Justin
thinking-
needs a break.
Thank you for thinking of my editing, because I know that's where your thoughts are coming
I
from.
thought it was like we gotta keep it tight, like take the break right at the.
Yeah, let's do this. Let's finish this show. Everybody, we're going to take a quick break. Thank you so much for listening to our prediction show. When we come back, our predictions for 2016. Stay tuned.
Can't explain the things you heard with more than intuition. The line of reason shows the way to go.
Hey, everybody. You loving this prediction show? It has been 1 year since our last prediction show, and we're looking forward to doing another one next year. But you know what we're looking forward to doing in between? Going to New York City. You know, we're going to New York City next week. We are doing a live show. We always do a live show every week, but usually we're in our houses, alone in our houses, with our chat room, the people who are there every week watching from afar, from their homes, from their places of work, whatever they're doing. We're going to be in a theater, the Crane Theater in the Lower East Side of New York City, Manhattan, next week. January 7th, 2016. It is a 10 p.m. Eastern Time show. If you're in the New York area, get yourself a ticket. $10. That's it. $10. Come to the show. It'll be fun. We will have a great time, and then we'll get to meet you in person, which that I look forward to so much. I look forward to meeting each and every one of you who come out to the show next week. Come on, get your ticket. Go to our Facebook event page. So go to our Facebook, This Week in Science, TWIS Facebook page. You can find the event there, and that has a direct link to buy tickets. $10 through Horse Trade Media. Horse Trade is the website, but go to our Facebook event page. We'll also have a link on our TWIS page, so if you go to twis.org, that'll make it very easy for you to get yourself a ticket. January 7th, 10 p.m. Eastern Time, New York City. We're going to do it. Be there. And if you can't make it, of course, we're going to try and live stream it for everyone else around the globe. Additionally, we have a few calendars left. Not many anymore, really, but we have a few. We're down to the last little bit. So if you want to get one of the last Blair's Animal Corner calendars for 2016, you got to do it now. So you can order those calendars. There's a big picture of the calendar on our front page if you go to our website, twis.org. Get a calendar. We're almost out. I promise. We're almost out finally. Additionally, if you go to our Zazzle store, you can find lots of neat merchandise, so hats and mugs and T-shirts and things that will help support This Week in Science and everything that we do. And there are other ways that you can support us as well. One way is through just direct donations, so you can use PayPal or our Patreon account, which is Patreon, patreon.com/thisweekinscience, to be able to donate whichever way you feel like giving, either a one-time donation or on an ongoing episodic basis that you choose. It's all your choice. $2, $200, whatever. You are the people who really help keep this show going and help keep us in business, really. If it weren't for you, we really wouldn't be doing this anymore. And if you can't afford a donation or to buy something from us, then help get the word out, because the more people are watching TWIS or listening to TWIS, maybe the more comes back to be able to keep us in business and let us do more things that we want to do. So you can always tell your friends about TWIS. That's a huge help. Tell your friends in New York to go to our live show. That would be awesome. No matter which way you support us, we thank you for it. We thank you for your support. We really could not do this without you.
Projections are coming along. Your chakra and chi are both growing real strong. Your cold disappeared after just 9 short days, all thanks to the words on the whole earth displays. Now due to the juices and
And we are back with more This Week in Science.
Oh, yeah, and it is time for those predictions. Let's prognosticate about 2016. The year ahead has not yet begun, but in a mere 24 hours or so, 48 hours, less than, it'll be a whole new year. Oh, my gosh.
Yes.
Justin.
Crazy.
Justin, what's going to happen in 2016, science-wise? What's happening?
2016 will be the hottest year on record.
I believe that. I think I have. Did you steal my predictions?
No, all my own.
All right.
Homo and a lady will be dated. And I'm going to predict it will be in the 3 million-ish plus range, making Naledi a challenger of Lucy, for who is actually our earliest ancestor of that time period. Also, Bring on the Clowns. 2015 was the year that science died at the hands of politicians. Bad-brained, junk-branded, prepaid propagandists substituted for science over and over again. 2016 is the year scientists finally have had enough. Begin fighting back, publishing several studies that suggest political ideology of the Republican Party doesn't actually exist.
Study after study will come out this year, huh?
Horoscope writers, fearing loss of readership, will begin getting very specific, calling out readers by name with very direct warnings.
Hey, Justin.
Blair,
Justin.
avoid escalators today. Kiki, the answer to the pub quiz is Fenris.
Or Fafnir.
Justin, it's not an aspirin. Don't take it. Don't take it. CRISPR-Cas9 will once again be throughout the news in this new year. Highlights to include the mosquito malaria experiment getting deployed after early success, with a 2017 prediction of malaria being eradicated, and all those Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation nets being repurposed as the backs of soccer goals. Several new drugs will be developed to target specific gene functions in diseases that were discovered. Those gene functions were discovered using the CRISPR-Cas9. And Mama said knock you out, using CRISPR-Cas9 to knock out specific genes in order to study the effects downstream will lead to a Nobel Prize in 2016.
Oh, you think in 2016 that Nobel Prize will happen?
It's coming. 2016, it will be there.
That would be one of the fastest Nobel Prize turnovers ever.
And largely, I think, because if you look at how quick this technology has come about, this prediction is based on the idea that what we have now is a new tool. It's not like a new field of science has opened up. So that thing that somebody's been working on to solve XYZ problem for perhaps 20 years or more even, now has a tool that will quickly allow them to knock out specific segments of a gene and see which one is actually causing which interactions and what have you. So I think this tool is actually going to be what's accelerating. The science that they've been working on in whatever field gets this, the field is going to be biological, but it won't be that they just started working on this. It'll be that they now have a tool that's accelerated the research to publish results and have a finding. 2016 Nobel Prize. And once again, this year, no gravity waves will be discovered.
I used to believe that the gravity waves we found, and I'm not in the belief camp anymore.
All right.
Yeah.
One down.
Yeah. Is that it? Are those your predictions?
Those are my big predictions for the coming year.
Those are some pretty good predictions. I think many of them. I'll be interested to see what happens. Might take home the gold medal next year in our prediction show.
We didn't even keep score, guys.
Why do you keep reiterating that? Okay, Blair, what were your predictions? Predictions?
Okay.
Yes.
So this is my craziest one. It has to happen sometime. I believe that in 2016, we will find some evidence of microscopic life in space. And
Wow, that's a big one. Yeah.
feverishly conducted to see if it is 1, contamination, 2, a mistaken reading, or 3, real extraterrestrial life. And results as of the end of 2016 will still be inconclusive.
Okay, I'm going to piggyback that one, and I'm going to say they do figure out it's number 2.
That it's a mistaken reading?
No, sorry, the contamination one, which is
That is
that.
contamination.
That's number 1.
That
I think that
number
would
1.
be the most likely, but yeah.
I'll go with number 1.
We'll see. I also predict that in 2016 we will discover parthenogenesis in a species that has not previously been observed. Parthenogenesis is when females can
Virgin
give
birth.
Yeah, it's virgin birth essentially to an animal without being inseminated. Pretty interesting.
Do you have an inside
I
scoop on
I
that
like
one?
this one too.
No, I've just been nerding out about parthenogenesis a lot lately. It's on the mind.
Got it.
Can I piggyback that one too? I know I'm taking advantage here, but I want to predict that that it will be discovered that it's possible for all species and actually happens much more often than we think.
So I was gonna say that it's gonna happen in mammals, but the likelihood of that is low. So I've in trying to actually get some correct next year. I just said in a new species. We'll see. Maybe I'll be wrong. I also predict that I will release a 2017 hashtag Blair's Animal Corner calendar, and we will sell out. We'll see about that. I predict that white nose syndrome will be completely eradicated in bats within a specific geographical region due to the new treatments available. I believe that a mammothophaint, a mammoth inside of an elephant, will actually start to be made sometime in 2016 to my chagrin.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I predict that a vaccine for toxo will go on the market, not for humans, but for cats.
Nice. I like that.
Because it doesn't need as much FDA testing, so whatever they're working on could potentially get out for cats.
Because they'd be just testing it on cats first.
There you go. Yeah.
Yep.
Exactly. I predict that a successful replacement for bodily organs that were 3D printed will be tested in a human.
I can see that. I could see that happening. I was going to do some 3D printing predictions, but then I was like, yeah, 3D printing. It'll happen more. Yes, I agree.
We'll discover that cuttlefish use 3 kinds of camouflage. We already know about visual. This year we learned about electroreception. We're going to find they use audio cues next year.
Really? To camouflage?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's an interesting idea.
We will discover that tardigrades will find just new ways to confuse and shock us. Tardigrades are the onions of the animal world.
That's true. Are you saying this only because you have news?
Well, this counts as 2015, what I'm talking about today, but there'll be more. There'll definitely be more. There will be at least one question about climate change in the main presidential debates, but the issue will be skirted. Water rationing will take place in summer 2016 in the U.S.
It already took place in California, kind of, so...
It got close. We started taxing it and monitoring, but it wasn't straight up rationed.
Yeah.
We'll see. Spiders will find new ways to terrify and fascinate us. HIV vaccine trials will begin.
Haha. That'll be cool. Yeah, that is true, actually.
Crows will continue to show how smart they are. And, my personal favorite, coffee will once again be shown to have positive health effects.
Yeah, coffee and red wine. It seems like this year was the year for tequila, though. Wasn't that a study? It was like, tequila, it's good for you. Oh, whiskey, it's good for you. Yeah. Yeah, coffee, though. I agree. Every year, it's coffee. And then someone says, aspirin. And then they go, no, not aspirin. Yeah. Coffee. It's good for you. I like your predictions. Good ones. All right, here are mine. My predictions for 2016, the year that will be. The LHC is going to discover that its unpredicted bump of 2015 was just that, a bump, and not any kind of new physics. That's what I think. Gravitational waves will not be detected, no matter how much excitement people have about the LIGO detector and various things that are coming online this year.
New and improved LIGO even.
New and
It's
improved, but
better than the one they had before.
yeah, and even today I was looking at an article about what's happening with gravitational waves, and people are like, scientists are very exciting, and there are rumors within the gravitational wave physics community that there's some tantalizing data there. However, the system for detecting gravitational waves actually has a way for people who are in control of the experiment to actually put in fake signals to see if it fools the people who are reading the data. So that happened in 2010, and it could happen again. So there's actually to just make sure people are reading the data right and not getting it wrong, there's actually a way for the people who are running the experiment from the top to go, boop, I'm going to mess with you. Here's a fake signal.
That's fantastic.
I know.
Oh, that's crazy.
So we don't really know what's going to come out until they start talking more, until they do more analysis.
Well, I wonder if that's because I wonder if that's because they actually got a lot of good information out of, because it was in the first LIGO, like a big truck would go by and that could set off
everything
detector. It's not detecting gravity waves from the truck going by. It's just that the equipment is really sensitive.
Oh, sensitive.
Vibration.
Yeah. Yeah, so they just put in some trick signals every once in a while just to mess with the people doing the readings. But anyway, still, I don't think they're going to be detected.
Good relationship.
Yeah. The Arctic is going to melt in the winter night this year. That's going to happen this year. There's going to be a really warm storm. I was reading a story about that. It's going to happen in January. Very soon, actually. There'll be a very nice warm storm. And it's going to be warmer in the Arctic, where it's dark 24 hours a day, than it is in Texas. That's weird.
That's not great.
The Arctic is going to experience rain that will melt it in the middle of the night. It's going to be like 40s and 50s as opposed to 0 degrees.
Oh.
Yeah. Craziness. This is crazy. So I hope my prediction doesn't come true and that all of these estimates of what's going to happen with this storm are completely off. But I don't know. Again, I agreed with Justin on this one. 2016 is going to be the warmest year on record. It's the next one in line to be warmest on record. Private space flight is going to take it to the next level, and we'll see some suborbital flights with the first passengers. Not just test pilots, but passengers.
You know what that means? TWIS in space!
Oh, that would be awesome. So the Hyperloop is set to start testing pod designs in the state of Nevada this year. I don't think they're going to be successful. I don't think they're going to figure out a way to make it work. I don't think this year is going to be the year that everyone's going to be like, Hyperloop, and it's going to happen. I think that things are going to blow up extravagantly. They're going to have some major disasters. I think they're going to have. I don't think it's going to work.
So I'm adding a prediction because I totally forgot about this. I'm saying Hyperloop test 100% successful.
Okay. I hope so. I'm just going pessimist. I was pessimistic today. That's all.
I think what they're going to do is they're going to have the run set up, and the pod that's going to be done, they're actually going to load it with a car, with like a vehicle. Somebody's going to drive a vehicle, and they're going to transport the vehicle in the pod from the point A to point B.
All right, we will see. Juno, which is a spacecraft on its way to Jupiter right now, it's going to be wildly successful, I think. It's going to once again show that NASA can do amazing things on a tight budget, and NASA's getting an expanded budget next year. That's going to happen. NIH and NASA, they're going to get an expanded budget, and so that's going to lead to an expansion of proposed missions to possibly life-bearing moons in our solar system so that we'll learn even more than we have already. Give money to NASA because NASA's doing great. That's what's going to happen. That's what's going to happen. CRISPR will continue to wow us with new discoveries about life. I said after last year's epigenome description papers, this last year there was a big kind of like the genome, decoding the genome. There was a big epigenome decoding, whereas this is what the epigenome is. This is where things are. This is what it looks like. So in the next year, based on what came out this year, I think we can expect to see a lot of studies detailing how the epigenome influences the design and behavior of organisms of all kinds. So I think now that we know where things are in the epigenome and what kind of instructions are in place in different places around the genome, we'll start seeing more understanding of what they do, what those things do. And then I totally went off the science topic, and I predict that Jon Snow is going to be in wolf form, is going to be the king of Game of Thrones, and maybe marry Daenerys. Who knows?
Spoiler.
Spoiler! I haven't read that far. There's no more books. I have to wait for the books to come out, and season 5 hasn't come out yet. What am I going to do? I'm just waiting. I know Jon is still alive. Jon Snow is totally still alive. He's a what is it? A warg. He's a warg after all. He jumped into somebody else's body. He's alive.
I really haven't watched any of that show, but I imagine your prediction's pretty good.
I think I'm on.
Can I just real quick? I want to throw in a couple of the. Are you done? Is that the end of the predictions?
My very last one is that once again we're going to enjoy a fantastic live show in theater in New York City. Live in New York. It's going to be TWIS.
So a couple of those. Right, I've got some of these bad predictions up here.
Mm-hmm,
and kind of two of them kind of go together in an interesting way. One is Lee DeForest has said in many newspapers and over his signature that it would be possible to transmit the human voice across the Atlantic for many years. And this is him being sued because the American prosecutors believe he's attempting to defraud people out of their money by selling stock for his radio telephone company.
Wow.
In 2013. Right. Also interesting here, in 1926, Lee DeForest, he's the guy who was trying to raise money for his radio, his cross-Atlantic radio. So to place a man in a multi-stage rocket and project him into the controlling gravitational field of the moon where the passengers can make scientific observations, perhaps land alive and then return to Earth, all that constitutes a wild dream worthy of Jules Verne. I'm bold enough to say that such a man-made voyage will never occur, regardless of all future advances. That's 1926. And here's the FCC commissioner, United States, of course, his name was Craven. He says, there's practically no chance communications space satellites will be used to provide better telephone, telegraph, television, or radio service inside the United States. He says this in 1961. The first commercial communications satellite went into service in 1965.
Nice.
New York Times, boldly in 1936, a rocket will never be able to leave the Earth's atmosphere. And lots of people predicted that heaver than air flying machines would not be possible. Some of them
here we are today.
Just 18 months. There's a thing. It was just 18 months before the Wright brothers flew at Kitty Hawk.
Wow.
Like
Doubters till the very, very end. Ye who doubt. You're always in good company.
No.
All right, everybody. That does it for our predictions for 2016. We've got a few more minutes here in our last show of 2015. So let's bring a little bit of science to round the year out. Blair, what you got?
Oh, my goodness. So crows, you guys, crows. They're really smart. Especially the New Caledonian crow. These guys are super smart. We've seen them making tools. We've seen them using tools. We've seen them storing tools. For the most part, we've seen these things in a lab. For the first time ever, we have caught on videotape crows making tools in the wild out of naturally occurring materials. That's pretty cool.
That's huge.
And I'm actually going to screen share right now for those of us who, or maybe not, I was going to try to share the video. You can see they attached these cameras to the tail feathers of the crows, and it fell off naturally after about 2 days. And only when they slowed it down to a frame by frame did they realize what was actually going on. And these crows were fashioning tools. They were making their own tools. And this was the same study where they also caught them storing them for safekeeping. So,
wow. Making tools and then keeping them
mhm.
so they wouldn't have to make them again.
Yeah, for example, if they accidentally dropped a tool, they would go and retrieve it immediately, no matter what they were up to. They would even sometimes abandon food that was available if they dropped the tool because they wanted to recover it. So they know how to make their tools. They know how to keep their tools. They know how to value their tools. Those crows, they're smart.
Yay,
And-
smart crows.
Yeah. And then in my very last story of 2015, water bears, tardigrades, when they dry out, so we know tardigrades can do a bunch of crazy things and survive that we can't. They can go into the vacuum of deep space. They can freeze. They can desiccate. They can withstand high temperatures. Well, we're dying to figure out how they get all this done. And one of them, it looks like we figured out, and that is the desiccation, the drying up. We know that when they dry up, they form this kind of barrel-shaped thing called a ton. And then that when they are rehydrated, they pop back into life, seemingly unharmed. Well, it turns out that they actually encase important molecules and enzymes in a natural glass.
What?
Interesting. Glass.
Yeah, they produce a glass-type substance internally inside of them. Absolutely insane. So they call these
Wow.
proteins intrinsically disordered proteins, IDPs. And when they are wet, they're shapeless, they're highly flexible, but when they dry severely, they lock up, they rearrange themselves into what can only be described as a solid biological glass structure.
Wow.
And they specifically target proteins, molecules, and enzymes that are essential to tardigrade function, and they encase these things and protect them from drying out and being broken apart. So yeah.
This is our candidate for putting life on other planets so far. This is getting my
Totally.
This is my favorite. This is my when we Marsifest Destiny, the first wave of inhabitation might have to be the tardigrades.
Maybe it already is.
Yeah, they might already. Whoops.
Oops.
Yes. So they tested this a few different ways. They tried it by drying out proteins or enzymes when mixed in with this thing when it was wet, and then they were brought back. The enzymes were kind of brought back to life. They were still functioning when they were rehydrated. When they mixed them in after drying them, it didn't help. Similarly, it doesn't protect the tardigrades from anything else. It doesn't help them with freezing or with heat, but it does specifically keep them from desiccating. So it's not one thing about the tardigrade that makes them this amazing, resilient animal. It's somehow they have developed step by
all
step
these different solutions because
Yes.
they have certain enzymes to help them with freezing or heat. They have certain compounds that allow them to withstand very cold temperatures and very hot temperatures. And so maybe it's this glass that they produce that, you know, those compounds are one thing on their own, but then their desiccation in this glass and the preserving of these molecules, that's another thing altogether. And it makes me question, I mean, especially if some of the things getting targeted are, I mean, this is in the cytoplasm, but if anything is related to the chromosomes or the chromatin, the material that is, you know, the genetic material of the tardigrades, it just makes me question some of the results to the questionable study from this year. You know, whether or not, you know, how outside genes would get in through
Right.
horizontal gene transfer if there is such an encasing system.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering too, is it kind of pokes many more holes into that whole theory. What's interesting though is this means that the tardigrades they are so specialized for all sorts of problems. They're not this simplified organism or this kind of more rudimentary organism. They are advanced.
Mm-hmm.
They're just teeny. But we can potentially take this information and this idea of making this glass that encases what's important. We could make drought-resistant crops. That's one thing that they're already starting to test with this. We could also make vaccines that you could freeze dry that way.
Yep.
And we were talking earlier in the year about quick mix vaccines, kind of. And this would be the perfect methodology to mass produce vaccines, is if they had their own little glass that they could encase everything in so that you could dry them out and ship them out and they'd be fine. There's a couple things from tardigrades that could make things pretty different for us in the near future in a good way.
Fascinating. Yeah. My last stories for 2015. Number one, it's winter here in the northern hemisphere of the globe, so not getting as much sunlight. Maybe your vitamin D levels are low. If you have MS or or have a family history of multiple sclerosis, maybe consider taking vitamin D supplements. Another study has come out, this time online in the Journal of Neurology, and this is a study in which they had a bunch of patients with relapsing remitting MS in which they got 10,400 IUs of vitamin D or 800 IUs of vitamin D3 supplements for 6 months. And these relapsing remitting patients were not, they did not have severe vitamin D deficiency, but where people with MS tend to have low levels of vitamin D in their blood. And the blood tests that they used determined that several factors related to inflammatory T cells and multiple sclerosis severity were decreased. So there was a reduction in multiple sclerosis inflammation-linked factors. And the amount of vitamin D that was taken had an effect on that. The people taking in the low dose of 800 milligrams of or 800 international units of vitamin D3 didn't see any noticeable changes in their T cell subsets. However, the high levels of vitamin D supplementation actually did. So there are other clinical trials underway currently. So this is one potential way that's safe, fairly safe for individuals to easily start potentially managing the inflammation that their body is experiencing. And also, it's the holidays. People are eating. I don't ever want to eat again sometimes. And then I'm like, oh, yeah, more cookies.
Cheese.
Yeah. Bring on the holiday gorging. Well, researchers publishing in the Journal of the Association for Consumer Research say if you're not hungry, don't eat.
What?
Right. How does that work? So,
Yeah, if you're not hungry, but there's tasty snacks around, sometimes people nibble even though they're not hungry. But they say that if you're doing that, that could actually be not so good for your health. They looked at 45 undergraduate students and then had them rank their levels of hunger, and then had them consume a carbohydrate, sugar-rich meal, and then they looked at blood glucose levels afterwards. If people said that they were kind of hungry, moderately hungry, they tended to have lower blood glucose levels after eating the meal than if they were not hungry at all before consuming. So if you're not hungry, then you eat, you're going to have higher blood glucose levels. Higher blood glucose levels can have detrimental effects on your body cells. Elevated blood glucose is not so good for you. So, if you're not hungry, don't eat.
Good call. Good call.
Who knew?
I could add to that. If you don't feel thirsty, maybe don't have a drink.
No, drink water.
Drink some water.
Don't drink water.
Always drink water.
If you're not thirsty, don't drink water.
That's not true. Drink water.
You're probably dehydrated even if you're not thirsty.
If you're not tired, do not sleep.
That's not true either. Sleeping repairs your telomeres.
If you are sleepy, then you should.
I only have this one study about blood glucose and hunger levels, so I don't have anything to back those other things up, Justin.
That's not science, Justin.
Yeah. And then finally, you might be a harbinger of failure, which is pretty awesome. I love, especially around the holidays, people are buying all sorts of stuff for presents. And around the first of the year, there's this big conference in Las Vegas, Nevada, that, you know, everyone's like, these are the new products, the things that are going to be amazing in the next year. And everyone gets excited about all these, you know, 4K televisions and this and that and other devices. Last year, I think it was a bunch of drones. But researchers have discovered that there is a small group of consumers that they're trying to characterize who they are. But when this group of consumers falls in love with something and starts purchasing it, nobody else does. And so that product is doomed to failure. So there is a certain group of people who buy things that nobody else likes. And so if that people from that group, now researchers know and they're trying to characterize them, and so they can help companies maybe discover early on whether or not their products are doomed to fail.
What?
Yeah.
But it's different people for different types of things, right? Or it's always the same people?
No, it's kind of the same group. I don't know. I'm not exactly sure about that, but there are.
So are we talking about like consumer behaviors who will pay $8,000 to have the newest big screen? I mean, is it a price point thing, or is it just that the product itself? Because it seems like, yeah, there's somebody who would pay $8,000 for a higher definition television, even though you can get a perfectly good big screen for under $2,000.
Yeah, it could be that some people are more willing to take risks, so maybe early adopters of technology. They don't necessarily reflect the purchases that mainstream consumers are going to make. So people who adopted Google Glass, for instance, you know, maybe they were not the people to be really, it's like, okay, this market really likes it, but everybody else really does not. So they're... yeah, it's funny. The researchers say the harbingers are not evidently any more tired or distracted than anyone else when they're choosing their products. And so, quote, it's not the case that these people are buying goods at 2 a.m. or something like that. They're not inattentive. Systematically, they are able to identify these really terrible products that fail to resonate with the mainstream. But it resonates with these particular individuals. So these individuals buy differently than everybody else.
That's funny.
And it must be them. They must live their life just kind of upset because all the things they love get discontinued.
First they took Beta away from me, Betamax away. Then they did away with the 8-track, and what's wrong with giant? What was that giant laser disc?
Laser discs.
Movies the size of vinyl records.
Yeah. I don't know. We all buy questionable products at times. It's something we do. Everyone at one point in their life gets a bad haircut. You all buy questionable products. Things that get discontinued. You place your bets. You place your bets on a certain technology or on a certain soda flavor.
For me, it's usually TV shows. I usually fall in love with TV shows, and then they get canceled.
You watch too much sci-fi. They cancel everything. Anything good, they cancel it. Yeah. Well, anyway, that about does it for the science. I hope that we are harbingers of a fantastic new year coming to you, 2016. I hope it's great for everybody. I just found an email from Ed Dyer, who is the leader of the Science Island movement from our TWIS community, our TWIS Minion community. He sent us his predictions for 2016, and he says advances in CRISPR gene editing tool will take place. Oh, wait. Flybys of Pluto. Was this from last year? Did I get the wrong one? No, this is 10 days ago. Flybys of Pluto in Ceres. That happened. LHC discovery of the new particle. Advances in understanding how... Oh, maybe this is his
recap.
This is his top 11. He sent me another email. Where did it go? Where did it go? Oh, never mind. I tried. I'm pretty sure. Maybe he just sent me the top 11. No. Oh, there they are. TWIS predictions. I found it. Okay, here it is. Ed Dyer, thank you very much. I'm sorry I got confused. The Advanced Laser Interferometer Gravitational Wave Observatory. Advanced LIGO. Won't. The possible new particle observed by the LHC will not be confirmed. There will be a great deal of debate, but no scientifically peer-reviewed conclusion about what was observed. Human trials for medical treatments that use DNA editing technology will prove successful. Prosthesis technology will result in giving more mobility to people with spinal cord injuries and loss of limbs. Increased use of 3D printed prostheses will also make this technology cheaper and available to more. I like that one. That'll be a cool one to follow up on. There will be far more success at the individual and local community level than the international government level in dealing with climate change problems. Probably true. At least one new species of hominid will be discovered. Hope so.
Yeah.
That would be super
Likely.
cool. And finally, the Scanadu Scout will be approved and lead to a revolution in self-monitoring of health devices. People increasingly monitor their vital signs daily instead of waiting for a yearly exam, leading to a more timely identification and treatment of health diseases. We will see. We will see what happens with all these predictions. Thank you, Ed, for making predictions and sharing them with us. Very exciting. And everyone out there, thank you for joining us for, I hope, another amazing year of science. It has been fun, and I'm looking forward to an amazing 2016 and sharing it with you. And you too, Justin and Blair. Thank you. Yeah. Is it time?
Yes.
That may have been the show for the end of the year, but we will be back next week, right? We're going to do a show next week?
We are. We're going to do a show next week live from New York. This Week in Science. It's going to be amazing. If you're in the New York area, see if you can come to the theater, the Crane Theater in the Lower East Side of Manhattan. Live show, 10 p.m. Eastern Time, January 7th. January 7th, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Tickets are available through our Facebook event page. And I haven't put a post on our website, but I will put an easy link up on our website.
Yes, you can also see any of our Facebook pages. The TWIS Facebook page has the link on there, and we've been tweeting it a fair amount as well. So if you really want to find it, you can.
Awesome. And now it's time for us to bid adieu to you and you and you, and to say thank you to our Patreon sponsors. So thank you very much to Kevin Parachan, John Ratnaswamy, Steve DeBell, Jason Schneiderman, Rudy Garcia, Gerald Sorrells, Greg Guthman, Dave Neighbor, Jason Dozier, Matthew Litwin, Eric Knapp, Jason Roberts, Patrick Cohn, Shannon Tara Ginsberg, Richard Onimus, KDWB, Byron Lee, EO, Bob Calder, Jared Lysette, Ulysses Adkins, Brian Codron, Jake Jones, Trainer 84, Kati, Edvardus Rimkist, Brian Hedrick, Cassie Lester, Sarah Chavez, Stephen Soroyak, Layla, Marshall Clark, Charlene Henry, Don Komarechka, Larry Garcia, Randy Mazuka, Ed Dyer, Tony Steele, Dave Friedel, Craig Landon, Daryl Lambert, Robert Aston, Artyom, Michael Perez, Shuwada, Stephen B., Dave Wilkinson, Steve Mashinsky, Rodney Lewis, Braxton Howard, Phil Nadeau, Rick Ramus, Salgood Sam, Matt Sutter, Emma Grenier, Philip Shane, James Dobson, Kurt Larson, Stefan Insom, Michael George, Russell Jensen, Mountain Sloth, Jim Drapeau, Tara Payne, Alex Wilson, John Maloney, Jason Olds, James, Noah Wiles, Paul West, Alec Doty, Luma Lama, Joe Wheeler, Dougal Campbell, TMRO, Craig Porter, Adam Mishkan, Aaron Luthen, Marjorie, Paul Stanton, Scott Lajewski, David Simmerly, Tyler Harrison, Ben Rothig, Columbo Ahmed, and Gary Swinsberg. Thank you for all of your support on Patreon. If you're interested in supporting us, you can find information at patreon.com/thisweekinscience. And remember, you can also help us out just by telling your friends about TWIS. Super helpful. And on next week's show, we're going to be live in New York City at the STEM Fest, taking place at the Crane Theater. We go on at 10 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 p.m. Pacific. Tickets are available now. If you're in New York City, you can find more information at horsetrade.info. If you'll be watching virtually, then you'll be able to see us live online, just like normal, except Thursday at 7. So it'll be at twis.org/live. You can watch, join our chat room, just like the usual. But don't worry if you can't make it. You can always find the episode and other past episodes at twis.org/YouTube or just twis.org.
Thank you for enjoying the show. TWIS is also available as a podcast. Just Google This Week in Science in your iTunes device, or if you have one of those mobile things like a phone, and it's got the Android, you can look for TWIS for Droid in the Android Marketplace. Or anywhere Apple Marketplace, it's This Week in Science. It's the TV, Apple TV that's come out. I don't know what it is. Is it just a TV? Does it have something extra? You have to plug in something new to the TV you have, or is it already the TV? I don't know. But if you have an Apple TV, This Week in Science is inside of it somewhere, hiding for you.
That's very true. And for more information on anything you've heard here today, last week, next week, show notes will be available on our website. That's www.twis.org. That's TWIS.org, where you can also make comments and start conversations with the hosts as well as other listeners.
Yes, or you can contact us directly. Email Kirsten at kirsten@thisweekinscience.com, Justin at twistminion@gmail.com, or Blair at blairbaz@twis.org. Just put TWIS, TWIS, somewhere in the subject line, or your email will be spam filtered into oblivion. You can also hit us up on the Twitter, where we are at TWIScience, at Dr. Kiki, at Jacksonfly, and at Blair's Menagerie. We'll love your feedback. If there's a topic you would like us to cover or address, a suggestion for an interview, a haiku that comes to you in the night, please let us know.
We'll be back here next week on Thursday at 7 p.m., live from New York City, and we hope you'll join us again for more great science news.
And if you've learned anything from the show, remember,
it's all in your head.
This Week in Science. This Week in Science. This Week in Science. This Week in Science, it's the end of the world, so I'm setting up shop, got my banner unfurled. It says the scientist is in, I'm gonna sell my advice, show them how to stop the robots with a simple device. I'll reverse global warming with a wave of my hand, and all it'll cost you is a couple of grand. 'Cause this week's science is coming your way, so everybody listen to what I say. I use the scientific method for all that it's worth, and I'll broadcast my opinion all over the earth. 'Cause it's This Week in Science. This Week in Science. This Week in Science. 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 This Week in Science. This Week in Science. This Week in Science. 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 I've got one disclaimer, and it shouldn't be news, that what I say may not represent your views, but I've done the calculations and I've got a plan. If you listen to the science, you may just yet understand that we're not trying to threaten your philosophy. We're just trying to save the world from jeopardy. Jeopardy. And This Week in Science is coming your way, so everybody listen to everything we say. And if you use our method instead of rolling a die, we may rid the world of toxoplasma gondii. 'Cause it's This Week in Science. This Week in Science. This Week in Science. 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 This Week in Science. This Week in Science. This Week in Science. 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 I've got a laundry list of items I want to address, from stopping global hunger to dredging Loch Ness.
I'm trying to promote more rational thought, and I'll try to answer any question you've got. But how can I ever see the changes I seek when I can only set up shop 1 hour a week? This Week in Science is coming your way. You better just listen to what we say, and if you've learned anything from the words that we said, then please just remember it's all in your head. 'Cause it's This Week in Science. This Week in Science. This Week in Science. 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 This Week in Science. This Week in Science. This Week in Science. 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 This Week in 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 Science.
What's up with that there little piggy pig? Not by the hair on my chinny chin chin. You're muted. I want to hear that little guinea pig go. Week, week, week. Week, 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 week.
They mostly only do that when they're together.
Oh, they make such cute noises at each other. Week, 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 week.
What do you think, Tracy?
Tracy, your hair is so amazing.
She's like, "Ugh, I woke up like that.
Don't hate me because I'm beautiful. Her hair is amazing. She's so cute. Guinea pigs. Guinea pigs are so cute. Ah, I know where your parents are.
No, Justin, it's not Donald Trump's wig.
Oh my gosh, it is a little Trump wig on there. Blair, do you have the ability to play audio from the interwebs through and have it come across?
No.
Kiki,
What?
can you put audio out?
It depends. It depends. Is it from the internet?
Yeah.
Yeah, why? What do you need to do?
I sourced Bingo Bango Bongo.
Ha ha ha! No, I'm
Oh,
not gonna do
you
that.
did?
I did. I figured out where it was from and why it was.
How funny.
Of questionable usage.
Oh, no.
No. It's not as bad as I. Well, you decide. I want to play the song.
Oh,
We can't
boy.
play the song.
We
Is
can't
it out
play-
of? Is it out of copyright?
Oh, I'm sure it is. But anyway, the song is you can YouTube Google it. It's the Andrew Sisters and Danny Kaye. It's from like
What?
forever ago. Yeah.
Awesome.
Is it
and the
called?
song-
Is it called Bingo Bango Bongo?
No, it's called Civilization.
Civilization.
Okay, let's all watch it at the same time.
Okay, hang on.
YouTube.com.
Well, I try to make sure not to get peed on by a guinea pig. Great.
Danny
So it is
Kaye.
the challenge.
There we go. YouTube Civilization. Danny Kaye.
Hang on, don't press it. Yeah, I'm still pulling it up. We gotta hit the play button at the same time here.
Okay.
And why is my YouTube so slow? Okay, hang on.
No, this is Bongo Bongo Bongo.
I hear you, but don't play it yet. Okay. But they say Bingo Bango Bongo in it.
They do.
So are you already listening to it? Oh
No, I
yeah,
haven't started it
you
yet.
just saw the title. Okay. So I got the one that's got their picture up on it.
Yeah, that's one I have
You
to.
got that one too?
Yeah.
Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
So according to the Urban Dictionary, bingo bango is a phrase that can be used in absolutely all circumstances according to how it's pronounced.
How else could you pronounce it? Oh, they mean inflection.
In
Yeah, this is Bingo Bango Bongo. Okay, lyrics.
Not gonna leave the Congo. Oh no.
No.
Bingo, bango, bongo. Mm-hmm.
Yep. Portland Trailblazers use
I turned it off just.
Bill Shonley uses a catchphrase, bingo, bango, bongo. Bingo, bango, bongo is a really old golf phrase. You hit the ball out there, you put it on the green, and it's in. It's 3 shots. Bingo, bango, bongo.
Love that.
Hmm.
That's great. It really just looks like I have a wig in a sack right now.
It does. Oh, is it Tracy Merkin?
Yes. Tracy Smirkin.
Tracy Smirkin. Oh, cutie. That's such a cutie.
There's a little face. There's a little face. Look at her. I know.
Such a cute little face. Unfortunately, or fortunately, I don't know. It depends on you, your opinion. I'm going to have to get going this evening. I left my husband and child at somebody else's house and have to go back and pick them up.
Yeah, you better take care of that.
I gotta go take care of my family. I ran back here. I was like, I can't take an Uber. I'm late.
How many calendars do we have left?
I don't know.
I know at least 2.
At least 2? Yes.
Because they're behind you.
Yes, at least 2. Yes, exactly. We have at least 2. Identity 4 wants to know what the plan for recording next week's show is going to be. Yeah, hopefully. So hopefully I'm going to try and do a local recording, see if I can record locally. Fingers crossed on that front. I have my recording device, and so hopefully if we can get an out from whatever is the audio mixing device, hopefully I can get a recording. So I'm going to try to record on the scene, which would be nice. So that's my hope for next week's show. But to have the web recording also, that would be awesome. But like last year we did it and the web sounded funky for at least a little while until we figured out some of the audio issues. The first part of the show had an issue. So hopefully next week it's going to be hopefully it'll be better next week. But I'm going to try and do it on this on-site recording, because that'll be where we are. On site. Wow.
I can't believe it's already a week away. I'll be on a plane.
You guys have absolutely no idea. Like,
Hopefully
I don't know.
I will be too.
Hopefully you will be too.
I had a moment the other day where I just kind of anxiety attack, panic attack. I was like, I can't do this. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm not ready for this. And then I was like, I can't do all these shows, and the friends are coming to visit, and that's New Year's Eve, and then there's this, and I got to do this other thing, and I had a moment. I'm still kind of having that moment. I might just stay home.
No.
Yeah.
Just take everything one thing at a time. Don't look past 2 things that need to get done. If you think past 2 things, then you don't want to leave bed. This is something that I've discovered recently.
Today I didn't want to leave bed. Yesterday was the anxiety attack. Today I didn't want to leave my bed. I did leave my bed.
What has to happen immediately, and what's the thing after that? And after that, you're not allowed to even think about it.
I'm going to go hide. What I want to do is I'm going to go hide, and then it'll be all over. Yeah, take lots of happy pills. Tracy. Right. I did my happy patch. That's right. It's all calm down. Have you guys ever seen Neurotically Yours by Ill Will Press? It's these cartoons. They're on YouTube. They're also on the website for Ill Will Press. And I used to watch them years ago, and something brought them back up again recently. And I swear I identify in a very weird way with this pill-popping squirrel character named Pillsy, who's just totally... His name is Pillsy, but he goes into Starbucks. He's like, can I get your medicinal mochaccino? I want your medicinal mochaccino. And the guy's like, I don't know what that is. I don't think we can do that. It's where you take all my pills. You take all my pills. You pick all my pills and you mix them up and you put them in a mochaccino and I drink it. And I drink it. just put my Xanax in that mochaccino.
Yep. Uppers and downers. Nothing can go wrong mixing those, right?
Nothing can go wrong here. Nothing will go wrong. Everything's gonna be okay. Get the baby heads. It's like a baby. The baby and boom, baby heads. Seriously,
Kiki?
I love this character.
So, two things.
I need somebody to write me a squirrel comic so that I can do the voiceover.
Two things, Kiki.
Yeah.
Two things.
Yes.
What you have to do immediately.
Go get
And
my
what you have to
child
do
and
next.
my husband.
And what's after that?
Probably get some sleep.
Great. You're not allowed to think past that.
Okay. Thank you. Stop. Put a wall down. Stop.
So maybe that's like a
and then I need to,
secret
and then I need
superpower
to,
of
and then I
mine.
need to, and then I need to.
Maybe that's like a secret. I have like a firewall in my head.
Yeah.
It doesn't allow me to even recollect what the third thing
Kiki and I
is
are gonna
supposed
have
to
like
be.
stress-based aneurysms, and you're just gonna be hanging out.
What's
Yeah,
going
I'm,
on,
like,
you guys?
waiting for the
I'm
first thing
good.
to come along that I gotta do. What's the first thing? I don't know. I haven't showed up yet.
You know what? We're gonna make it to New York City, and
Oh, we are.
the title of that show is gonna be Bingo Bango Bongo.
Bingo, bingo, bongo.
Done, you guys.
So happy in the jungle, I don't want to go. You know, I just hope that we don't become homeless during our stay there.
No, we have a place. It is secured.
Oh, it is.
I'm taking
That
the
was the
couch,
first-
and
only
you will
thing I
have an
was
air
curious
mattress.
about.
We are all
Oh,
set.
yay! You're
We
set.
have a what?
I have the couch, and you have the air mattress.
Oh, I didn't get one yet. Am I supposed to bring one?
No, it's there. It's waiting.
It's already there. Oh, this
Yeah.
is beautiful. I
Yeah.
love it.
Yeah, you were supposed to.
So I should though pack like a pillow and a sleeping bag still, right? Like this is good.
Stand by on that. I think we're okay.
I'm gonna bring one anyway, just in case
How are
we
you
want
gonna bring
to.
a sleeping bag onto the plane?
Huh?
How are you
Yeah,
gonna bring
how-
a sleeping bag and a pillow onto
What
the
if
plane?
it gets cold
What?
on the plane? What if it gets
Are you gonna
cold?
like wear it onto the plane? Otherwise,
Yeah.
that's an extra carry-on.
No, it'll be like I'm wearing it.
I'm pretty sure that's a red flag. Oh, excuse me. Do you need to go back? Oh, excuse me. Tracy tells me we need to go.
Oh,
The wig is talking.
oh my goodness. Your guinea pig can speak. That's very strange.
Yes.
Okay.
Tracy tells us we need to end the show.
Yeah.
So she's saying, put me back, please.
go. Time for us to go. I'm gonna take a deep breather.
Good night, everybody. Thank you, Minions, for another wonderful year. Thank you, Kiki. Thank you, Blair. I will see you next year.
There will
I
be
will-
much texting about next week.
That's right. And we will see you next year. Yay!
Happy 2016, everyone.
Happy New Year.